Moyes of Everton, Ipswich boss Kieran McKenna, Southampton's Ivan Juric, Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace and Leicester's Ruud van Nistelrooy were the only actual managers of their respective teams. Everyone else? That's right, head coach, including Ruben Amorim at Man United. He took over from Erik ten Hag, a man who had held the title of manager. Might come as a surprise that Amorim's appointment marked the first time ever that Man United had a head coach instead of a manager. But to understand why they made that decision, you also have to get what the difference is between a head coach and a manager. A manager's got a huge range of responsibilities. They're not just in charge of training and player lineups, they're also heavily involved in player sales and transfers. Critical stuff. But a head coach's role is far more focused on team training and performance on the pitch. So whereas Ten Hag was highly involved with decisions around transfers during his tenure, the intention was that Amorim wouldn't be, at least not on the same level. And as the sporting structure at Man United changed under Sir Jim Ratcliffe, people like Sir Dave Brailsford took charge of transfers instead. How all those roles play out in practice may be slightly different at different clubs though. On the other hand, the contracts of actual managers like Pep or Moyes had no limits on their job role and their involvement with transfers and contracts. But those guys are actually in the minority now, and it's a change that's happened pretty quickly. In 2019, there were only 6 head coaches in the Premier League, but by 2025 there were 14. A clear indication that more and more clubs are moving towards a model where the guy in charge is actually only really in charge on the pitch. And the way things are going, it might not be long before all 20 clubs have got head coaches, and the job position of football manager in the top flight is no more.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the world's biggest sports radio station. It's talkSPORT. My name's Max Rushden. Alongside me, Barry Glendenning. This is the warm-up into its, 13th season, something like that. And yet we still keep knocking it out of the park. Barry, welcome.
Hello, Max. How are you today?
I'm really good. I'm hoping. Well, there were a lot of Premier League games yesterday, so there's a lot to get through. Even if none of them are, even if only one of them was interesting. But we've still got a lot of content there. So I'm wondering whether we start the Premier League review early, or will you deliver us another anecdote, a bit like the one about your clock resetting automatically to the clock's changing?
Well, I don't know what kind of person you think I am, that you think I can just what do you call those people? The word's gone completely out of my head. Who used to try to make gold. What are they called?
Yes, I know. Prospectors.
No, they tried to find gold.
Oh, okay.
No, people who, in sort of medieval times, who dedicated themselves to trying to make gold.
What, out of what?
Out of anything.
Oh, I see. Idiots? I mean...
No, there's a word for them, which I can't think of.
Right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, you think I can just create that kind of anecdotal gold
I believe in
to
you.
order?
I believe in you. You know,
Will someone please text in with that word, because it's going to bug me. I'm already going to Google.
Did you hear? And Nuno, I wrote this down. Did you hear that clip in the sports headlines?
Yeah. So he's working on the warm up.
He's saying if we can have a good warm-up, it'll really connect to the fans. How good a quad stretch does Thomas Souček have to do? Like before, how many little quad stretches and hamstring raises does Jared Bowen have to do before to get the London Stadium? Which, let's face it, they're not really totally behind everything that's happening at West Ham at the moment. How perfectly does the alchemist. You can stop texting alchemist now. If management walk in, they'll go, "What's happened? What is it? Word of the week, everybody." Yes, please stop saying alchemist. There's too much alchemy here right now. But thank you to all of you. It's good that at least the audience are educated. In the warm up where the third keeper just like pings balls for the crosses.
Yes.
For Areola to catch. So is it Hermansen? It's like, how good can that be? What is Nuno talking about? I mean, I appreciate he's really clutching at straws at the moment, but there's just no way that can get a crowd going.
Well, I mean, I think managers whose teams are not playing well need to focus on... Because yesterday we have this confected controversy over the fact that Jed Spence and Mickey van der Veen walked off without doing the dance. They didn't go over and applaud these fans who were calling them all sorts and booing them loudly. They just quite sensibly marched down the tunnel. And now, so there was that. Now, I think if I was Thomas Frank, and obviously Thomas Frank was asked a question about it, so he had to answer. But if I was Thomas Frank, I'd be more concerned with what happened between the warm-up, which I've no idea how the Tottenham warm-up went. Who did well in the rondos? Did anyone, ping in a free kick a couple of free kicks into the top corner? But yeah, ideally it's between the warm-up and the end of the game that these managers need to focus on rather. But I applaud Nuno. You worry that West Ham are, they're a bit behind schedule, but if he's only now turning his attention to the warm-up, when does he start? And I appreciate he hasn't been there long.
You're right.
I mean, as you know, Max, I've been running for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So my legs are in a state of constant pain because I'm not used to running. And when I go running, I have to carry this large 17-stone frame around with me. So it's quite heavy. My legs keep seizing up. People keep advising me, you have to make sure you warm up. You have to make sure you warm down. So I had to Google and go on YouTube to find out what a good warm up is. So I am on the same page as Nuno here. I appreciate the importance of a good warm up.
Yeah,
but if West Ham need my help, I can go and tell them what stretches to do.
Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, Gaz says, is Nuno saying he needs to work on the warm-up, as in this show? Does Nuno need to be... We've had a third wheel before, didn't necessarily work out, but I'd give it a try, Max Barry and Nuno Espirito Santo.
Are we getting a happy Nuno or sad Nuno?
At the moment, I think we're getting sad.
I feel the last time we had a third wheel, it was a sad version of that third wheel. I think a happy version of that third wheel would have been okay.
I think you might be right. Or is he saying he needs a good warm-up, as in this needs to be a good show? As in Nuno is heavily invested in this show, which he thinks will relate to a positive West Ham performance.
They're at home, aren't they?
They are at home,
So I don't know if do they arrive on the bus or do they just rock up in their own cars? Did they stay in a hotel last night? Because, it could be a case that they will have us on now. Jared Bowen, Lucas Paqueta, Thomas Souček are all sitting on the bus, glued to our every word, hanging on our every word, Mac. They were all shouting, "Alchemist, alchemist," a few minutes ago. When I couldn't remember the medieval folk who tried to make gold out of curtains or lead or jam.
Andy Jacobs says alchemist. He says, I'm listening this week after last Sunday's break because he didn't want to listen to you crowing about Sunderland beating Chelsea, but he does want to hear me moaning about Chelsea beating Tottenham. Charlie Baker says, the radio alchemy is already at a high level as two men struggle to remember the word alchemy. But I'm on the same page as well because I lead the warm-up for my Sunday team. So I'm the one who, I call the stretches, I do the running, I do the ball work. So, between us, we could really get West Ham flying at the London Stadium this afternoon.
And
We could be freelance vigilante warm-up people.
In leading your football team's warm-up, is this a role you gave to yourself, or was it you voted? Was it an electoral process?
No, when I arrived, I found the warm-up pitiful for a group of people who are between sort of 40 and 60. As in, this is why we keep getting 4 calf strains in the first 5 minutes of the game. We need to do more than just shooting from 25 yards. That was my logic, saying one person gets injured in the warm-up because all you're doing is shooting. We should sort of warm up these bones slowly. And muscles and just most of the time it's grown, it's leaning over and just going, this really hurts.
Because I always get the sense that the member of the backroom staff who leads the warm-up, and I could be wrong here, but I always get the impression that the players view him with utter contempt.
Well, it depends.
And he's making them jump, skip through the little on-the-ground ladder thing.
Yeah,
and
I don't have an underground. Ladder thing.
Yeah,
we're not.
If anyone who knew what an alchemist was knows what an underground ladder warm-up thing is called, you know what to do.
Yeah. But the thing is, every single person knows what the on-the-ground ladder thing is, don't they? Steve says the West Ham warm-up, Nuno should get all 60,000 fans on the pitch in the warm-up and do a giant rondo. 5,000 in the middle, 55,000 on the outside. Sounds like a great idea. Oh, you had a text topic, Barry, didn't you? You've come with an idea for the programme.
Well, it's not often I have a good idea, Max. I think I have about 2 a year. Mm-hmm. And I think this is my first one this year, and we're already in November, aren't we? Yes, we are. Well, I was watching Match of the Day, and I got a bit of a shock when Dean Henderson, Sam Johnston in the Crystal Palace goal had to. It wasn't much of a shot, but he had to save a shot from Brentford's Reece Nelson.
He did, yes.
And this really perplexed me because I thought Reece Nelson played for Crystal Palace. And I was wondering, why is he shooting at Sam Johnston in the Crystal Palace goal? So I scuttled off to an
internet cafe,
an internet search engine.
Yes.
Beginning with G, ending in Oogle. And I discovered that, no, Reece Nelson does in fact play for Brentford. And I didn't know that. It's one of those transfers. Quite a few transfers passed me by. Alexander Zinchenko to Forest passed me by. I'm never quite sure who Sergio Ramos is playing for. I'm always one club behind. But I had no idea that Reece Nelson played for Brentford. I'm just curious to know if anyone else knew Reece Nelson played for Brentford. So that could be the text topic. Just a simple yes or no. Did you know that Reece Nelson plays for Brentford? Well, and if you want to elaborate, you could explain how you found out. Did you know he played for Brentford?
Well, it's interesting when you sent that message, because I just thought you'd written Brentford when you meant to write Fulham, because I was concerned. I was pretty sure he played for Fulham until you sent me a message. So no, I'm really happy. The good thing about this is a text topic. You either want it niche, so there's not many people can answer it, but you will get good stories, or you want everybody to be involved. And the thing is, everybody listening can get involved with this. Yep. And we know there are 1 million people listening because we've had the word alchemist text into us 1 million times. So if everyone who texted alchemist, did you know Reece Nelson? It can be yes or no, or you can elaborate. We just want to know if your finger is on the pulse more than ours, or it's a symbiotic relationship.
Most Brentford fans will know. I think he's on loan from Arsenal, so most Arsenal fans might know.
Yeah.
But I'd be very surprised if anyone else knows.
Well, Matt said Sam Johnson plays for Wolves, so I don't know what he was doing, fielding a shot from Reece Nelson in the Brentford Palace game. But there you go. It is Max and Barry,
wasn't it? I always get him and Sam Johnson mixed up.
That's okay. This is the warm-up on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app 81089 at Max Rushden if you want to get in touch. Morning all, you're listening to the warm-up on talkSPORT. Thanks, Rushden, Barry, Glendenning with you until 1:30. Steve says, Reece Nelson, I had no idea. That's how you spell this version of Reece. The Steve, the Wimbledon fan in Brighton. I'm an Arsenal fan, says Rich in Shrewsbury, and I thought Reece Nelson still played for Arsenal. Who knew? Ben says, I didn't know. This news has shattered my weekend. I may have to phone in sick tomorrow. Apparently, says Jonathan, it's called an agility ladder. Thank you so much. I preferred whatever you call it. A horizontal
on the ground ladder for warm-up.
Exercise ladder. Yes, Jim says, I had no idea Reece Nelson played for Brentford until I saw him having a lovely time against Grimsby in the Carabao Cup during the week.
Well, I did discover in the course of my research that he has, I think he's played 3 games for Brentford and scored once against Grimsby.
Okay. Well, this is good. Look, we're all learning.
Every day is a school
Sunday.
day, Max.
We can learn slowly. What we're going to do is go through each footballer individually and say, did you know that they play? Once we get to the league, Mexican League, then you can say we've done all the footballers. Should we do a Premier League review?
Why not?
Let's do it.
Oh, not again. We had this last week, didn't we?
It can't happen again, can it? Should we have a Premier League review, Barry?
I think we should.
Let's have a Premier League review. There's only there's so little in this. On a Saturday, whoever's pressing the buttons has got like a million songs to play.
They're like Rick
Here,
Wakeman.
We just say,
surrounded by keyboards.
The funny thing is, we believe it or not, we actually have a pre-show meeting, and in the pre-show meeting, we discovered that they did have the button ready, the big red Premier League review button.
Right?
Do you reckon somebody? Do you think?
I'm looking behind the glass. There doesn't seem to be any huge sense of panic. I'm not sure they're even listening to us.
No, I've just had it in my ear that it's not ready. How long does it take to get ready? Is it like?
Imagine you went to see Jean-Michel Jarre, one of his light shows.
Max and Barry's Premier League review on talkSPORT.
Barry, it was an interesting day of Premier League. Well, it wasn't interesting. There was only one game that had any jeopardy in the whole of yesterday's Premier League football, I thought. I don't know how enjoyable you found it, but apart from the Forest-Manchester United game, basically you could have just said, whoever scores, they've won, goodbye.
I thought you were being excessively disparaging of yesterday's Premier League action. You've already alluded earlier in the show to the fact that you didn't think it was anything more than a bit meh. And that was all right.
Okay.
There wasn't much in the way of upsets.
No.
Arsenal are very good. It was another routine Arsenal win, wasn't it? Another routine Arsenal clean sheet, another routine Arsenal goal from a sim. Arsenal are very good.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to start there, but we can now. I mean, I've just written, what a shame they're so good and no one else is. I mean, they are. I'm trying to find now. Interesting. Their next 3 fixtures going full Allen, Brazil here, Sunderland away. Okay, so I'm positing that they could lose the next 3 away to Sunderland. Granit Xhaka scores the winner in injury time. Okay, we can see. Can you feel that? Can you see that? Possibly?
I think it's unlikely, but I wouldn't rule it out.
Now, next, the game after that is Spurs at home, and of course, form, ability, coaching. Players, that all goes out the window when there's a derby.
Well, you'd hope so, as a Spurs fan, Max, because if Spurs play against Arsenal like they did against Chelsea yesterday, I worry for them.
Okay.
Is
so
that at the
Spurs,
Emirates?
That's at the Emirates. So Spurs win that. They're good away from home, of course. Then Chelsea away. You never know with Chelsea. So in a month's time, we could be saying, "Wow, the
Arsenal
wheels
in
have fallen
crisis."
off." Yeah, but they are. Gabriel is so good. Like, he's so good in both boxes. And he's like a set piece magnet. Like, wherever he is, the ball just goes there. Like, and actually does so well to cushion that ball back in.
But that's not what happens, Max. You see, and that's the problem for the other teams that are playing Arsenal. The problem is he knows where the ball is going to go, but he's not there before. The ball isn't coming to him. He's coming to where the ball is going to be. They both arrive at the same time.
Okay.
And that's why it's so hard to defend.
So
against.
the magnet analogy is not good.
No, it was a poor analogy, Max. Hang your head in shame.
I'm sorry about that, and my apologies to all the magnets out there. But he cushions it so well for Gyökeres, and actually the second goal is started by him just heading another long throw out of the box, and then it's good work from Gyökeres, isn't it? And Declan Rice, who is clearly brilliant. The commentator said. Towards the end, well, Arsenal have had to ride out some Burnley enthusiasm, which is the most damning you can say. It's better than not having enthusiasm. It's better than Spurs yesterday. It's better than probably what West Ham will do later. At least they had it. At least they tried. But yeah, Arsenal.
Well, in his press conference on Friday, Scott Parker made a point of saying that in every game Burnley have played this season, whether they've won, drawn, or lost, there have been sections of that game where he thought they were in charge, and he said it again yesterday. And I wonder if all those sections of games Burnley have lost where they've been in charge were when the game was already beyond them and the other team had sort of stopped really trying particularly hard.
But they've done all right, haven't they? They'd won the previous 2, haven't they? This is a free hit for them. This is not the game they have to worry about. Do you want to do Forest Manchester United? Because I thought that was a really, really good game. And I have sympathy with Sean Dyche, with the linesman who's like, not only are they so far away, there's like a massive goal in the way. Like, there's 2 massive white posts in the way. I mean, you literally just have no idea. You can't tell. Like it's impossible to see.
Oh no, there's no question. The line though did not know whether that went out or not. He just presumed it had, and then when I'd imagine his heart sank towards his boots when he realised, that might not. It's very unfortunate for Forest because it's the second week in a row that's happened to them. But once the corner is given, you have to try and defend it, and they didn't defend it.
No, but it is almost as if he's the linesman is in actually a worse position than almost anyone else in the stadium to see whether that has gone out. Because there's a big goal in the way. But I'd get rid of VAR because I just would. But if it's there and it can take 20 minutes over a handball that isn't a handball, surely the fourth official can just say in his ear, that didn't go out. So just, do something else. That's just my opinion. It doesn't. I understand when people say we don't want to get involved with everything, but I can see why that is annoying. See the same for like bad second yellow cards. Like there was one in El Clasico, I think, which was just a ridiculous decision. I'm obsessed with one shot in this game, and it's not the Ahmad volley, which was brilliant, and also had that perfect grandstand Ian Rush 86 FA Cup final, I think it was. Camera behind the goal, getting hit by the ball and going boing like that. That was fun. That shot from Bruno Fernandes that took 25 minutes to hit the post. He shot from about 35. That's how I kick the ball. I just couldn't work out. Like, I feel like Matt Sells could have walked over and picked it up. I just didn't quite understand how that managed to hit the post. It was an odd moment, and you don't see shots like that very often in football. So there we are.
I don't really have anything to add. I do remember
right.
it did seem to travel very slowly. Maybe Matt Sells knew it was hitting the post. He just went, I'm not going to hit the
That's
post.
possible,
All right,
isn't it? Yeah. It does mean the hair guy carries on, which I think is still kind of funny. He has sold out to a bookie, but, fair enough, I guess, to take the money.
I just hope he sold out for a good amount of money.
I think he probably did all right.
I reckon.
Well, I did notice
they might
that,
have rinsed him.
do you think so? I mean, that would take a while, wouldn't it? But I did notice that Chris Richards as well has almost as much hair, the Crystal Palace centre-back. I wonder if he is doing the same thing but just hasn't told a lot of people about it.
But Crystal Palace have definitely won more than...
No, he's still doing... He's doing it for Manchester United too.
Oh, you reckon?
Yeah, possibly. Should we break and then do some more Premier League review? Yes, we've managed to get through 2 games, 5 to go, and we'll do them all in the next bit.
I think we need to talk about Sean Dyche's tracksuit. If that's a question for after, maybe it'll keep. There's no rush.
Okay.
It looks as if he's committed to the tracksuit bit.
Are we going to do a whole show on it next week?
We could do.
Okay, next week, the Sean Dyche tracksuit.
Turquoise tracksuit. Is it turquoise or aquamarine? I'm not sure.
I can't remember it, if I'm being honest. I'll look it up.
That's all I can think about. You can't remember it. Like, when did he switch? When did he decide I'm going to be a tracksuit manager? Because usually at this time of year, he's out there with a white shirt, short sleeves, Homer Simpson style, and no jacket. And but he's rocked up at Nottingham Forest. He's gone, I'm going to be a tracksuit manager, and I'm going to wear a tracksuit that's a really weird colour and makes me look like a baddie in Brassic.
Well, we'll have to ask. He's a friend of the station, isn't he? Sean, if you're listening, could you just 03717 223344 and tell us all about your tracksuit? It's Max and Barry here until 1:30. Morning all, warm up on talkSPORT. Max Rushden and Barry Glendenning with you until 1:30. Let's get a bit more then on Vitor Pereira sacked as the Wolves manager. talkSPORT's Ben Jacobs broke the news. Not a huge surprise, Ben, I guess.
Yeah, no huge surprise, although if we go back a few weeks and we look at Vitor Pereira being not only backed, but signing a long-term deal, it's been quite a turnaround. But I suppose no Premier League manager in the modern era can survive going winless through 10 Premier League games and being bottom of the table. The Chelsea game at half-time didn't look great in the EFL Cup, but Wolves fought back with spirit. And then they were thrashed by Fulham 3-0, albeit Agbadou was sent off and partially, therefore, out of Pereira's control. But he just couldn't get any consistency. There were a few draws that they had in the Premier League where it looked like they were going to get their first win and they conceded late. And Wolves, in the end, with no choice but to make a change. And I'm also told that contractually, within Pereira's contract, there was a provision or an exit clause allowing Wolves to do this without necessarily a huge financial burden. So the timing, getting to 10 games, being winless and being bottom of the Premier League table, in the end, it probably was inevitable.
Yeah, that's interesting. He didn't have they didn't have to pay him out for 3 years, because that is that's my first thought, that you do a terrible job and you get loads of money. I mean, he did say, look, technically, tactically, physically, we weren't at it yesterday. Apart from that, it was all fine in the game against Fulham, wasn't it? But the interesting thing, Ben, is actually that Wolves fans, even though they weren't happy with Pereira, of course, their anger with Wolves goes way beyond the manager and way up to the ownership, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And the manager becomes a little bit of a scapegoat in that respect. And yet, by the same token, we saw quite a fiery Vitor Pereira confront some Wolves fans in multiple games. So there was both a feeling between the Wolves fans and Pereira that maybe the team were not moving in the right direction tactically, and at the same time, wider venting of anger against, as you say, the ownership group, because Wolves pretty much since Gary O'Neill was backed and went 2 days later haven't necessarily had a clear strategy from above. And then I think the other factor in this is that the fans feel, regardless of who the manager is, that maybe the playing squad just isn't good enough, full stop. And that will be the worry, I'm sure, amongst many Wolves fans, that whoever you bring in, are they actually good enough on paper under any manager, under any system, to get themselves out of trouble? And if they're not, there'll be a championship team next season. So Pereira will take the immediate focus because he's not got to win in 10 games. But the next appointment is key for Wolves because they've somehow got to get themselves out of serious trouble. And it may be changing the manager doesn't make any difference.
Do we have any idea who the next manager might be? Clubs often have somebody lined up before they even sack whoever's in charge. Any word on who it might be? Brendan Rodgers is, of course, available. And,
yeah, I think
and so is Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, I don't think Ange Postecoglou, looking at how many goals Wolves have already conceded, I'd be surprised if they went down that route. Somebody like Brendan Rodgers, as you say, is a free agent, and my understanding is he's open to coming back to the Premier League, but there's been no contact yet. A lot of people have mentioned Gary O'Neill coming back. I'm not so sure that he's on Wolves' radar either. So at the moment, the change was not something that Wolves were planning for, hence why they gave Pereira a new deal. There wasn't succession planning in place, but they are going to have to move very quickly. Luckily, they've got the international break not too far away, and I'm sure they'll want an appointment by then so that new manager can bed in. But there's no real leading contenders at this stage, simply because Wolves really didn't want to go down this route. It's a reluctant sacking, but their hand has been forced, and now they're going to have to move very quickly. And we wait and see whether they approach somebody of the calibre of Brendan Rodgers and whether he's open to what will ultimately be coming into a football club that are going to be in a dogfight.
Yeah, very hard to get them out of this mess. You're absolutely right, Ben. Thanks, Ben.
Cheers, guys.
Ben Jacobs there, who broke the story. Vitor Pereira sacked by Wolves. Look, if you are a Wolves fan and you have any strong thoughts on the matter, 03717 223344. It's no massive surprise, is it, Barry? I mean, that's the nature of things if you keep losing. I mean, I have been saying consistently that Wolves aren't that bad, but I did say after yesterday, maybe they are that bad.
I thought they would win yesterday. I honestly thought they would win. I thought I'd seen enough in previous performances, albeit performances in games which they lost. I thought I'd seen enough to suggest that all hope was not lost. And yesterday they were playing a Fulham side who'd lost 4 in a row, and they made that Fulham side look like 1970s Brazil. I was genuinely shocked by how bad Wolves were. I get they were down to 10 men from quite an early stage, but even so, it was a dismal performance. Pereira offered zero excuses afterwards. I think he probably knew the writing was on the wall. I think the writing was probably on the wall last weekend when he and Jurgen Strand-Larsen went and got in that quite unedifying post-match debrief with some Wolves fans. And then Sam Johnston, who I now realise is the Wolves goalkeeper, in his post-match interview, he just said we should be embarrassed. He looked genuinely shell-shocked after that defeat yesterday, and he was probably the only Wolves player to emerge from the game with any credit. So, I mean, no, Vitor Pereira, I wouldn't imagine he's going to be particularly upset. He'll get some sort of payoff. He's a journeyman manager. He's managed about 14, 15 different clubs. He knows the score. He'll be grand.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think it also just a little unlucky because they should have beaten Spurs at Tottenham, which I was going to say is not easy to do, but it is easy to do, it turns out, because Spurs equalised late on. Then they drew with Brighton at home, didn't they? Ben alluded to those games. And if those are wins and not draws, then 6 points, it does look just totally different. But yeah, they were not good. That red card as well. I mean, it's such a nothing challenge, Agbadou, yesterday. And you sort of think, it's tight. It feels unlucky because Josh King almost handballs it, and I felt that was unlucky. And when that happens...
But that's the kind of thing that happens when you're down there. You just can't buy a break. It was a red card, but it seemed a little... I mean, I don't think it was that clear a goal-scoring opportunity for Josh King, but he made no attempt to play the ball, and King didn't handle the ball because it quite clearly hit his sleeve area.
Yeah, true.
So them's the breaks when you're down amongst the dead men.
Yeah, so Wolves have sacked Vitor Pereira, if you want to have your say on that, you can. 03717 223344. Wolves away to Chelsea live on talkSPORT next Saturday. That's one of those 8 p.m. kickoffs. Who's the most fun to go back? What if Nuno got sacked today, and then he went back? And I think that's what Matt says. Nuno back to Wolves, Ange to West Ham for maximum fun. But yeah, there you go. I mean, it's a shame for him he's not getting a 3-year payoff, because then you go, wow,
that'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
He absolutely nailed it.
I think politics and football are basically the only two jobs where you can fail upwards like that, and the rewards for failure are just massive.
There wasn't, I think, without getting into our respective political affiliations, it's the one where someone's been an absolutely terrible prime minister and then gets paid like 50 grand to do, and they're boring as well, they're not like fun, and then they get 50 grand for after dinner work. And you're like, who is paying you 50 grand to do this speech where you turn up and you're A, boring, you B, were really bad at what you did, How can I get my hands on this money? Lots of listeners think I'm boring and bad at what I do. Pay me 50 grand to do an after-dinner speech. I guarantee I can make it boring. It is Max and Barry
I've
here on
heard
the
some
warm-up.
of the money comedians get for corporate gigs. It would make your eyes water.
Yeah, come on, give us a corporate.
Yeah,
We could do a corporate.
Could do a corporate.
Yeah, we could do. Get in touch.
It's Christmas. It's Christmas season.
Exactly.
And the
We'll
thing
have to
is,
do it on
at
Zoom.
those corporates, no one wants to hear a comedian. Everyone just wants to get.
We won't. We promise you we'll do no jokes. We'll just get you in and out. We'll basically just be like ushers. We'll be like
20
ushers.
grand
But
each.
20 grand each. And I'll be on Zoom anyway. But like, we'll just do it incredibly quickly. It's Max and Barry here until 1:30. Lee Phelps will join us in just a second. Morning all, you're listening to the warm-up on talkSPORT. Max and Barry with you until 1:30, brought to you with Travis Perkins. For the latest big trade deals, head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. The breaking news, Vitor Pereira sacked as Wolves manager. We'll take your calls after midday on that 03717 223344. AJ in Suffolk, not taking it tremendously seriously, says, hi Max and Barry. I think the Premier League should impose a new rule and standard for sacked managers going forward. Upon learning you've been sacked, you are directed to remove the trousers you're wearing and asked to leave them in the manager's office for the incumbent. It's important to build a trouser history at any club. I don't quite understand it, but obviously, depending on the size of manager, what sort of one-size-fits-all because Pereira's not a big guy. So, I mean, look, it would be fun if the next guy came in was a big old unit and had to wear the trousers of Pereira. Anyway, let's get the latest odds from William Hill.
In the Zone on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Final One Standing. New from William Hill. 18 plus gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
Lee Cops joins us. Hey, Lee.
How you doing? You okay?
Yes, good, thank you. So that news has just come in. I hear that you've got your people working on the odds for the next Wolves manager as we speak. So we'll get to that when it arrives. But should we start with
just come in actually? Actually, it's just come in. Hot off the press.
Okay, good.
This is about as exciting as it gets, isn't it? Brendan Rodgers is a favourite at 15-8. I heard you guys talking just a few minutes ago there. Eric Ten Hag, 11-4. I heard some whispers about that during last week that he was being lined up. I'm not sure where I heard them from, but yeah, Ten Hag for a return to the Premier League at 11-4. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's in there. Kevin Muscat is a name that's mentioned in there as well. I mean, at this stage, we've had so many markets recently, especially in Scotland, that it just seems to be like a combination of names now doing the rounds, isn't it? Let's just shift those over. The likes of Ruud van Nistelrooy's been mentioned in those Scottish markets as well. Robbie Keane mentioned in those. Could be an interesting name for the into the Wolves job. He seems to be making noises that he might want to move back to either Scottish or English football. So yeah, these markets change so quickly though, as you guys know that within an hour a couple of names get mentioned from your experts on talkSPORT and they'll fly into the market as well. So yeah, fascinating one. He was a very short price to go this morning, Pereira. Not surprisingly, I guess. But as you guys were saying, like the job that the incoming manager has got to do, they've got 2 points from 10 games. Now that's an average of 0.2 points per game. They need, we always say around 36, 37 to survive. That's a lot. That is a lot of points. That's 35 points from 28 games. So you need to average like a point and a quarter a game. I mean, they're really going to have to go that's 8 wins and 11 draws. Yeah, I think 8 wins and 11 draws. It just doesn't seem like realistic, does it, to get that many points from whoever comes in? But
well, the fact of the matter is, Lee, Wolves were in an almost identical pickle this time last season, and they brought in this guy called Vitor Pereira who got them out of it. So maybe they should just automatically rehire him once they've handed him his P45.
Just hope that you get a old new manager bounce.
Yeah.
Old new manager bounce. It's a good idea.
I like it,
how's your final one standing going, Lee?
Yeah, 90% of players went through yesterday, and the original and the biggest jackpot, the £500,000 jackpot. So 60-odd% had Brighton to beat Leeds. Another 25% had Fulham to beat Wolves. Maybe a percentage or two had Arsenal. 5% had Palace. There's around 4% on Newcastle, and that's pretty much it from there. I mean, obviously the teams are getting limited as we get into this. Will be round 11 next week. We get into. So yeah, it's tight. The talkSPORT League had 52 players in it yesterday. I checked this morning, 51. So only one poor person went out. Maybe they went with, I don't know, maybe they went with Man United and got and didn't get through. But yeah, it's we thought maybe a few more would go this weekend, but we roll on to another weekend for it.
Huge game north of the border. Scottish League Cup semi-final, Celtic versus Rangers at 2:00. Semi-final, Scottish League Cup semi-final rather.
Yes.
Because Danny Roll's in and Martin O'Neill's in. How do you see it going?
Yeah, well, Celtic are favourites at 10-11, 5-2 the draw. Rangers 13-5. I mean, it's hard to know which managers had more of an impact. I would imagine Martin O'Neill because of his what he's done at the club, and players will respect him more. Danny Roll's got a lot of work to do to kind of bring this Rangers team back. As you were hoping for the North London derby, Max, anything can happen in these games, I guess. And Rangers have had a decent enough record against Celtic in recent seasons, but yeah, Celtic the favourites. Incidentally, that next permanent Celtic manager markets out. Kieran McKenna is the 7-2 favourite to take that. Martin O'Neill, who's obviously the interim manager, is 4-1 to have it permanently. And then Ange Postecoglou at 5-1. Lee Carsley 6s, Robbie Keane 15-2, 9-1 and bigger the rest. So yeah, it's fascinating. The William Hill Scottish Premiership's been absolutely fascinating. Hearts, of course, winning again yesterday, 9 points clear at the top of the table. So yeah, it's an unbelievable league, and the Old Firm Derby, obviously one of the great games in football, isn't it?
Lee, I flagged up Hearts as likely winners over Celtic last week. You tried to put me off and persuade me to go for the draw. I was right. You were wrong. This week, I'm going to flag up Bournemouth as likely winners over Manchester City. What say you?
Yeah, no, it's an interesting one. 5-1 the price. 5-1 seems big for a Bournemouth
think that's
side.
massive.
It does seem a big price. City of 4-9. When you look at the results over the time that Bournemouth and City have been playing each other recently, Bournemouth were getting hammered like 6-1 and 4-1 by City, and then you look at more recently, Bournemouth have beaten them in recent seasons. They've had narrow losses. So, yeah, I mean, I think they've got goals in them. That's the key thing for Bournemouth, isn't it? Some of the informed strikers in the division, in Krupi, in Semenyo, 7 goals between them in the last 5 in the league. But City do have the informed striker in the league, Erling Haaland. Obviously, his streak ended against Villa. We've got an epic boost on Haaland to score in the game. Even money should be odds on. And three epic boosts have landed from Friday, yesterday, twice yesterday as well, with João Pedro, with Mo Salah and Coventry scoring first on Friday night. I don't disagree. I think it's probably the value pick, isn't it, at 5-1? I mean, I'm not saying West Ham are value at 4-1, but even given West Ham's woes, I think West Ham at 4-1 at home, it's a big if this. If they can get the warm up right, obviously. If the warm up goes well, then obviously the 4-1. But Newcastle's away form isn't brilliant. We've got an epic boost on that as well.
London, are they?
No, not generally. Although at West Ham,
West Ham are good in London.
That's a very good
it's a good
point.
Nick Valtemada's obviously been, the star of the show for them. 6 goals in 11 for the Magpies. That's obviously scored for his country as well. He's the subject of the epic boost in that game. To score or assist, even money for Nick Valtemada to either score or assist. That should be odds on. But yeah, it's a fascinating one. Just going back to the relegation picture with West Ham, they're third favourites to go down at 4-6. Wolves 6-1 on to go down. That was before Pereira got sacked, by the way. Then Burnley 2-1 on. Then you've got Forest at 9-4, Leeds 5-2, Brentford 6-1 with Sunderland the same price, and Fulham 7-1. So West Ham. It's getting. If we talk about Wolves needing points desperately, well, West Ham do as well, don't they? Second manager this season, and where do you go from here if they carry on losing?
That's a good question, and we'll find out probably this afternoon. Cheers, Lee. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.
Lee Phelps there. That was the latest odds brought to you by Final One Standing, new from William Hill. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
In the Zone on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Final One Standing. New from William Hill. 18+. Gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
India playing South Africa in the Women's Cricket World Cup. Nick Ellaby's going to be watching that for talkSPORT. How's it going, Nick?
Yeah, hi there, Max. 45 for none. Good start for India off 6 overs. Smriti Mandana is on 16 off 19 balls. Shafali Verma 21 off 17 at the other end. She's hit some 4 great fours, actually. Mandana can afford to be a bit circumspect as Verma looks to take on the bowling. It's tricky for India to know how hard to go here. South Africa won the toss, decided to bowl. That was an easy decision because of the weather in Mumbai. We had a 2-hour delay to the start. Really heavy rain, loads of puddles on the outfield, which is still very, very wet. The ground staff worked like crazy to mop it up. The pitch is a bit two-paced at the moment. There is a reserve day if the rain comes back. There's a lot of huge clouds around in Mumbai. The forecast isn't great for tomorrow either. We will have a new name on the trophy either today or tomorrow, potentially 2 new names. If we can't finish the game, the trophy will be shared. Few questions for that South African captain Marizanne Kapp, just to think about. India 46 for none of 6.1 overs.
Thanks very much, Nick. It's the warm-up on talkSPORT. Max and Barry here till 1:30.
after football. For a lot of players, it means going into punditry. Some turn to coaching or working in the game in other ways. But what about the rest? Some former footballers turn their sights away from the game, and there are a few big surprises. First up, from rainbow flicks to pancake flips. Ex-Chelsea and Southampton defender Ken Monku switched up his footballing career to buy a Dutch pancake house. He bought out the shop, which had been his favourite pancake spot as a child, and before long he was mixing the batter and getting behind the stove. Next, Everton legend Thomas Gravesen swapped out the high stakes of the Premier League for those of the poker room. He made over 150 appearances for the Toffees and won the Scottish Premier League with Celtic. Turned out the Danish international was pretty darn good at poker. He racked up a reported £100 million from his Las Vegas adventures. Remember former Chelsea goalkeeper Petr Cech? Turns out football nets weren't the only goals he was pretty handy in front of. After retirement, he became a goaltender in ice hockey. Same skills, very different surface. And he even won a Division 2 title with Guildford Phoenix. For ex-Liverpool centre-back Daniel Agger, it wasn't just fancy footwork that was in his blood. He was also pretty good with his hands. The Denmark international turned to tattoo artistry after he hung up his boots. He'd qualified as a skin artist while at Anfield, and he then became the co-owner of his own tattoo company as well. It's not all glamour for ex-pros though. 1966 World Cup winner Ray Wilson set up a very different kind of business. He became an undertaker after he retired. Finally, not many people can say they've won both a World Cup and starred in an Oscar-winning film. In fact, there's only one person in the entire world who can say that. Frank Leboeuf, the former Chelsea defender, was part of the 1998 France squad who won the World Cup. He ended up marking Brazil's Ronaldo in the final and helped his side to a 3-0 win. But Leboeuf had already begun acting on the side while he was playing football, and his biggest role came some years after his retirement when he landed the part of a doctor in the Stephen Hawking biopic The Theory of Everything.
I embrace the career of acting, so I want to learn more. So seeing lots of movies is a part of my job.
To be honest, with all the dramatic diving in the game these days, there's probably tons of ex-pros who've got the acting skills to make it in Hollywood.
Afternoon all, Max Rushden, Barry Glendenning with you on the warm-up until 1:30. Vitor Pereira sacked by Wolves. We'll speak to former Wolves winger Matt Jarvis in just a second. Before that, a couple of games, 3 games have kicked off early in the WSL. Let's go to Dave Rhodes watching Leicester Arsenal. Hey Dave.
Yeah, hi Max, it's Leicester 0, Arsenal 0 with 4.5 minutes played. Arsenal started with real intent here, a game they really need to win. 8 points behind Chelsea at start of play. This is their game in hand, a game they normally do well, and in fact 8 previous meetings in WSL between these two sides, Arsenal have won all 8 with an aggregate score of 29-3. They have got several players out missing today, but they have started, as I say, with real intent. A shot by Kim Little, blocked away. Hines with the rebound going wide. Lovely skill too by Beth Mead down the right-hand side. No takers though on the cross. 5 minutes played, Leicester 0, Arsenal 0.
Thanks very much, Dave. Let's go to Jake Robson, who's watching Brighton Man United. So, hi, Jake.
Just ticked over 5 minutes played. It's Brighton 0, Manchester United 0. Cagey start. United probably shading the opening 5 minutes. Probably what you'd expect from the team ranked placed third in the division. The big news, though, surrounding Brighton coming into this one, of course, Michelle Adjiman and the anterior cruciate ligament injury that she sustained in midweek while playing for the Lioness is a huge loss for the Seagulls, who have found goals quite hard to come by of late. They've lost both their last two 1-0. So a big afternoon, a tough afternoon perhaps in store for them. It remains to be seen exactly what's going to happen. Brighton 0, Manchester United 0.
Jake, you were at Wolves yesterday, weren't you? But did you get the vibe? That was it? It was all done?
Yes, I was at Fulham. Fulham obviously battered Wolves. Yeah, you know what, Max? Not only did we had to wait maybe 25 minutes or so for Vitor Pereira to come out and talk to us. He just didn't. He had the expression of a man who didn't have the answers, and he basically said he didn't know what to do, how to make things better, and why things had gone so badly wrong. And you're listening to that and you're going, I mean, when's this going to happen? This is only a matter of time. I suppose the one thing was that the contract that he'd been given quite recently, and I know contracts aren't worth the paper they're written on, but you've got to think a Premier League club giving their manager a new relatively long-term deal would suggest that he was going to be safe. But as you mentioned earlier, 2 points from their opening 10 games. They haven't won in their opening 10 games, obviously. The second time they've done that in 2 seasons. I mean, this can't go on. I mean, is their season over already, you wonder?
Good question. Hey, thanks, Jake. Let's talk to James, who's a Wolves fan. He's called 03717223344. James, thanks for your time. No surprise this to me. Is it to you?
Yeah, no, not at all. And also, thanks for having me on, lads. Great. I love the show.
It's very kind of you.
First, I mean, yeah, not a surprise at all. He had no clue what his best team was. We played well in the first half against Chelsea in the Cup was shocking. Second half was amazing. How can Wolf go from scoring 2 goals against Chelsea, bear in mind against their kids, but then not play on the weekend? How does he drop our 2 players who are the only 2 I think want to play for the shirt, Andre and Joe Gomez? He didn't have a clue at all. And yes, a lot of our fans hate our owners. I agree, I don't like them. We haven't had the backing, we haven't had the investment, but at the end of the day, we have the players to survive relegation. We've seen it against Brighton, we've seen it against Tottenham, we saw it against a bit of Burnley, and we saw it against Chelsea. We can play. We just need a manager who can put the players together in a decent tactical formation, and whatever you want to call it, in order to score goals and defend well. And Vitor didn't have a clue how to do either of them.
James, he came in when you were in a almost identical situation last season and got you out of the mess, kept you up. Why is it, do you think, that things have gone so badly wrong for him at the start of this season? Is it because he kind of had the rug pulled out from under him with Wolves selling their best players during the summer, as they tend to do?
I suppose you could look at it like that, but Gary O'Neill came in and stuff, and then again,
Sorry, we've lost you, James. I apologise. It was a good question from Barry, but we will never know the answer because
I'm sure it would have been an even better answer.
I think so. Yeah, no, he was good value. But we apologise, James. Let's talk to Matt Jarvis, former Wolves player. How you doing, Matt?
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for coming on at short notice. Well, you look very smart. For those watching on YouTube, unless you're just in your Sunday best, as you always are, before you sit down for your roast dinner. What do you make of what's happened this morning?
Yeah, unfortunately, not a surprise. I'm a big fan of him. I think since he's come in at Wolves, I think he's galvanised the sort of team, the togetherness with the fans, the everything together. But he sort of lost his way, which is understandable considering the results, which have been really poor. And I think now you can see where he's not really sure what players to put into what formation and what team. And it just looks now like it just the last throw of the dice with what he should do. And I think if you look at it as well, like they've sort of got away with the signings over the last few years with regards to not really buying anyone with Premier League experience. It's coming in from other clubs that are not in the Premier League, and it does take a time for players to settle. And I think they've done well with that in the past, and I think now it's just got to a point that it just hasn't worked. And unfortunately, with 2 points, it's a really, really poor start to the season. And they got away with it last year again because they were able to use the manager. Victor got in January the players that he wanted, and it got them out of the relegation zone. But I think this year it's going to be a little bit harder, especially with the teams that have come up that have done really well.
Matt, they have to get the next appointment right, but the list of candidates being touted as potential replacements, it's the usual suspects. It's a stunning lack of imagination. Do you have any idea who they should go for or might go for?
No, as you say, they have to get it right. But you would like to think that if they've made this decision, they've got someone lined up, because they need to get the results. If they're going to have any chance, they need to get results quickly. And they've already lost against teams, that have been promoted. So it's now or never to get this right. And, as you say, if you're looking at who's the options, I know Gary O'Neill but he's already been there. So I can't imagine that's going to be something that he's even considering. So it's a really, really difficult decision, which they have to get right.
Before we lost that caller, James, he was saying, look, the players are good enough to stay up. Do you think they are? Because, if you sell Cunha, sell Aït-Nouri, that's such a massive, there's just such massive holes in your squad.
It's a huge hole, but I think obviously they knew that this was going to be the case last season. They knew Cunha was going to go. They knew Aït-Nouri was going to go. So they had to have had plans in place. But it's now, do they have the players? I think it's tricky. I think, they have signed quite a few players, but as I mentioned before, no Premier League experience. Their two best players were Andre and Gomez in middle of park, who, they didn't play, which is a worry or to a thing as a fan. You're thinking, why are they not playing? So that is a worry. But I think it was just sort of a last throw of the dice from Victor to be like, well, I've got to try something, got to change something to see what we can get out of this team.
Matt, thanks for coming on. Appreciate your time. Have a good day.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Matt Jarvis there. I wouldn't be surprised if Brendan Rodgers went for it or was offered it, Barry. Is that a stunning lack of imagination? I mean, he has done well in the Premier League before. And
he has done well in the Premier League before. He's also done badly in the Premier League before.
Yeah, okay.
He didn't look as if he had much stomach for the fight he was up against at Celtic before he resigned. And I would not be in the least bit surprised if he was appointed Wolves manager. He might do well as Wolves manager, but I personally, as someone with absolutely no skin in the Wolves game, would see it as a kind of underwhelming appointment, but it can't really be one you take a risk on either. I remember when Sunderland appointed Regis Labrie last season, I was like, who is this guy? And I looked him up and I saw he was very inexperienced. He'd taken Lorient, got them relegated from Liga. And I was thinking, oh, God, he's going to be terrible or bog standard at best. But he's been an absolute revelation. So I don't know. But I suppose Rodgers it's a safe pair of hands if he wants the job. Maybe he wouldn't want it because it is a tough gig. Although even though they're below West Ham in the table, I still think they're better than West Ham. I think they have better players, say, than Leeds. I think they probably have better players than Burnley. I think there is still hope. Their relegation is far from a done deal as far as they're concerned.
Let's talk to Gaz, Wolves fan, friend of the show. Is there still hope, Gaz?
Hiya, Max. Hiya, Barry. How you doing? You okay?
Hey, Gaz.
Yeah, good, thanks.
Oh, good, oh, good. There's kind of three problems with it, really. Obviously, the ownership, the manager, who is now gone, and the players. Now,
but apart from those, everything's great.
Apart from that, it's fan-dandy-dozy. I'll still be at Molineux every week, but maybe we'll have some new songs. Coming on to that, so yesterday, the Wolves fans were singing all of the old players' songs. Ruben Neves' song, Conor Cody's song, Raul Jimenez' song, who was actually playing for Fulham, because they're harking back to the days when if our ownership had actually backed us, we could be pushing on towards the top of the table, but it's been a slow, steady decline, like slowly but surely. Last season, Pereira, he was a great PR guy, first the points, then the pints. But realistically, he got out of relegation because we had Mateus Cunha that could score some worldies, and that's basically it. It's come out this week, reports that Pereira was offered players like Harry Wilson and David Brooks, experienced Premier League players, but he turned them down for non-experienced Premier League players, playing players out of position, starting off with like 6 centre-backs in the middle of the week. So I think they've made the right decision to get rid of him. But like I said, it doesn't even touch the sides really, because there's a lot more problems at Wolves than just the manager.
Good stuff, Gaz. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate your time. I mean, just playing 6 centre-backs is a real sign of what you're trying to do in a game, isn't it? There's been a goal in the game in the WSL between Leicester and Arsenal. Dave Rowe is watching for talkSPORT.
It's Leicester 0, Arsenal 1. Dominant start here by the Gunners. No surprise they've taken the lead. Alessia Russo has got it. Well created by Beth Mead with a run down the right. Her cross in. Touched off by Blackstenius. Really neat touch that was into the path of Russo, and she drilled it home. Arsenal are in complete control. In fact, they could be going through again here with Russo on the edge of the area, shooting for goal, and this time firing just wide. Arsenal completely on top here. Leicester 0, Arsenal 1.
Now, Jack says Vita Pereira couldn't find the answers. Sounds like Barry in the footballer game. We will play that next. This is the warm-up on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. For the latest big trade deals, head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. Zielinski for Inter Milan, who are playing Verona right now, and Zielinski's just scored. Do you remember the Paul Scholes volley from the corner? You know, the corner's pinged out to Scholes and he just bangs it in. But he's scored like a side foot pass, basically volley into the top corner. It is one of the best goals you will see this season. It's absolutely glorious. Anyway, after us, Hugh Woozencroft is hosting Game Day Sunday Session Live with Perry Groves alongside him and Alex Crook, who is at, where are you at? The London Stadium today. You have our sympathies, Crookie, but Perry joins us as well. How are you, chaps?
We're both here.
Good boys, yourself.
Double punishment.
There, blimey, wow, masochism.
It's like sitting next to the Hofmeister bear, trust me.
Have you brought your binoculars? Can you see the pitch?
Oh, now, Baz. Come on, don't go into that narrative. It's a fantastic stadium, and it's only 40 minutes from where I live.
It's a fantastic stadium for athletics.
Yeah. I've only ever seen athletics there, and it was good. I was there nearly every day during the Olympics, all those years ago.
Yeah.
Must have
did
been
you hear? Did you hear Nuno? And I don't know. I didn't hear the whole press conference. He probably said lots of sensible things, but the bit they clipped out is him saying, "We just need a warm up that will connect with the fans." And we did wonder, how good can a warm up be, like just before a game, to get the fans going, Perry? Like, do you ever remember? I mean, obviously you remember some of the games you played for Arsenal. Would you remember doing a really great warm-up?
I was just thinking, Max, did Perry even do warm-ups?
Do you know what? Funny you say that, Baz, because that was your individual choice. So players would have a bath. I remember Dave O'Leary just sitting in a hot bath with his boots on as well, so it stretched them and just reading the programme. Some players might have a massage. You might go out and kick a few balls around. But I used to run as if I was in Paul Merson's shorts for a warm-up, because then the crowd couldn't boo me. They didn't have quick enough to boo my name when it was read out.
It's all changed. This football's different, isn't it? Anyway, what's coming up on your programme,
Game's
Perry?
gone. We've got Crookie and me here, obviously, at West Ham, Newcastle. Hugh and Mickey at Man City, Bournemouth. Preview and reports of all of today's FA Cup first-round ties. Reports from the closing stage of the WSL games. Preview and regular updates from the massive, huge, humongous Scottish League Cup semi-final tie, Celtic v Rangers. Tennis, golf, tiddlywinks, kabaddi. All covered.
Good stuff. Oh, kabaddi. Right, so should we play the football again? Crookie, you're good at this, aren't you? You're on good form, I seem to remember.
Yeah, I think I got a hat-trick once. But, yeah, ask me at the end.
Not that you like to talk about
Ask me at the end.
No,
I got a hat-trick once, and I'm never going to forget it. I don't know how you can not be sure whether you got a hat-trick or not. Are you just being modest, Crookie?
That's my middle name.
OK, let's play. Reece joins us. Hi, Reece. Hi. Do you want your mic up?
Why not? Yeah.
OK, how are you out of 10?
I'm good, mate. I'm 7. Yeah, go for 7.
7 out of 10. All right, but, you know, just to be clear, the Premier League review button failure for the second week running.
Yeah.
Who are you claiming? We win as a team, we lose as a team.
I am the head of this operation, so I will take full responsibility for any and all mistakes behind the glass.
And that come out of our mouth as well. That's very kind of you.
Yeah, when I mixed up the Crystal Palace and Wolves goalkeeper, that was very much Reece's fault.
Yeah. I'll take
this is from Richard. Richard says, I've been walking the dog listening to the show. I've spent most of the walk marvelling at Barry admitting it took him 11 months to put forward a suggestion for the text topic. And he came up with that shambles of a Reece Nelson, Sam Johnson question. Thank you, Richard. Anyway, let's play, everybody.
Our first footballer began his career at Hibernian in 1997, staying until the year 2000, scoring 12 goals in 45...
James McFadden.
Nope, taken in a loan at Stenhouse Muir, where he scored 8 and 11 in 98-99. He then moved to Rangers, where he stayed for one season between 2000 and 2001, where he scored 8 in 30, taken in the
Short at Avaladze.
No, taken in the second half of the season on loan at Wolves, where he scored twice in 5 before making his move to Wolves.
Chris Iwelumo.
Kenny Miller.
It's Kenny Miller.
Oh, good shout.
Well done. Well done.
Unlike Perry, I'm not even...
In his head. I can hear the cogs just going round and round and round.
He's so good. That's unbelievable. OK, let's go with player 2.
Our second footballer began his career at Lille in the year 2004, staying until 2011, scoring 31 goals in 191 games before moving to Newcastle.
Alexander Lacazette.
Nope, moved to Newcastle in 2011, where he stayed until 2014, scoring 17 goals in 79 games.
Laurent Robert.
Nope, this move...
Olivier Bernard.
Nope, this earned him a move to
Demba
PSG.
Ba.
Nope, where he stayed for the 14-15 season, scoring once in 39 before moving back to the Premier League with Crystal Palace, where he stayed between 2015 and 2018, scoring 9.
It's Pardew's mate, isn't it? I can't remember his name. What's his name? Pardew
Majestic. DJ Majestic.
To be fair, he was good at the far post, majestic, just coming ghosting in.
Kabai?
It is Johan Kabay, yeah.
Johan Kebab. Oh,
Thing
yeah,
is,
classic.
I know you
Not
can't
a
see
hat trick, a no pen hat trick.
A no
Crookie
pen
was,
hat-trick. This is extraordinary.
Crookie was waving at me as if I knew it. He was waving at me, saying, "Come on, you know it, it's there." I'm looking at him thinking, I have not a Scooby.
Wow, this is good stuff. I mean, just sit back and marvel at this work from Alex Crook. No pen. That is absolutely extraordinary. Okay, here we go, player 3.
Our final footballer began his career at Everton in 2004, staying until 2011, where he scored 7 in 47, and he took in a myriad of loans, beginning with a loan to Derby in 2009, where he didn't score in either of his appearances. He then went on loan to Leicester, where he scored 1 goal in 8, then loaned to Crystal Palace in 2010, where he scored 5 in 14, and also going on loan to Crystal Palace again in 2011, where he scored 4 in 16. He then went to Norwich between 2011 and 2013, where he didn't score in any of his 5 appearances. He was loaned to Huddersfield for the 2012-2013 season, where he scored 14 goals in 33 games. He made his move to Huddersfield permanent in 2013, stayed there till 2016, scoring 17 in 53. He was loaned out again, this time to Birmingham, where he didn't score in 15 games. Made his move to Birmingham permanent, where he didn't play or score. He was then off to Bury, where he scored 24 in 37 in the 2016-2017 season before moving to Sunderland for the 2017.
Danny Cadamarteri.
No. Sunderland, where he scored twice in 23 and 2017-18 before moving to Wigan in 2018, where he stayed for just the 1 season, scoring 5 in 38 and being loaned to Portsmouth for 10 games in the second half of the season. He was then off to Bradford for the 19-20 season, where he scored 11 in 25. In 2020, he was also loaned again, this time to Tranmere, where he scored 3 and 8.
Could he just sit still for 1 second, this guy?
Finished his career at Tranmere, where he scored 18 in 29 in the 2020-2021 season.
Crookie, come on, you're South Coast expert.
Portsmouth's one of my
Pompey,
clubs.
Stun you. Everton, Derby, Leicester, Palace, Norwich,
Wigan,
Birmingham, Bury, Pompey. I'm just proving I've done some working out.
No, all you're proving is that you have a pen.
Yeah.
I'm trying to contribute.
Unlike Crookie, you have a pen and a piece of paper.
I don't think I'm taking home the match ball with this one.
So he's a centre
So we've
forward.
only had one guess, and it was a really bad one, with all due respect, Mark.
I can confirm he's a striker, yeah. Someone did.
The centre forward was at Everton.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Centre
not
forward who
Franny
didn't
Jeffers.
score any goals. Who was at every club
He
in
scored
England.
He scored lots for Bury.
Yeah, he did all right.
5 in 14 for Palace.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Johnson?
No.
That's ridiculous. Guys.
It's not someone like Diamanti Kamara. It's not him,
No.
is it? No.
He was an England under-21 international.
You can't say, is it someone like Crookie? That's not how this works.
England under 21 international.
One day, the player's going to ring in going,
It was me.
aren't they?
If
I
I
don't
was
think
this
even-
player and I was listening, I'd be so offended.
I don't think he knows who he is. I think he's listened to all those clubs and then he's going to be surprised.
It's not David Nugent.
No, it's not David Nugent.
Oh.
It's not Franny Jeffers. Can we just say it's not? Can we just go through?
It's not Franny Jeffers.
Everton
it's not
centre
Frank
forwards.
What year was Portsmouth again?
He went to Portsmouth in the 2019 season on loan from Wigan, didn't score in any of his 10 games.
Come on, Crookie, you'd have been battering him
I would
on
have
the
been.
radio.
I would have been covering
Yeah,
him.
exactly, and caning him.
What I love is the agony. I love the agony. I'm really enjoying this. This is just good stuff, isn't it?
This is a win for Reece,
When
really.
was it, Norwich?
He was at Norwich between 2011 and 2013, where he didn't score in 5.
Ricky Van Wolfswinkel.
No.
England under 21. Everton centre forward.
We could be here all night, couldn't we?
We
We
yeah.
could
could
be
be here all
yeah.
night.
And that, let's face it, Crookie, would be funny. If we get to Anna Pardew's show, who's on after you? If we get then, we'd be like, oh.
Andy
Has anybody
Brassel
even
and Danny
texted in the
Kelly
right
be
answer?
banging the door down at 9 o'clock.
Do I go
Who's
and
doing
check?
overnights?
I'll check
James
social
Vaughan.
media.
It is James Vaughan.
James Vaughan.
Oh, Crookie.
That is. How have you pulled that one out? I did think I thought.
I just wanted to put you out your agony.
Well, that's a great hat trick. And no
See, that's
pen
what West
hat-trick,
Ham looking for
including
today,
James Vaughan.
Crookie. Leadership. That's what it is, leadership.
Crookie, well done, mate.
Thank you very much. Double hat trick.
Double hat trick, yeah.
well done.
And
Yeah, well
and he
done,
probably won't
Crookie.
even
Really
remember
pleased for you.
that he's got a hat trick. But wow, what a game! Thank you, Reece. It's the warm up on talkSPORT. Max and Barry here for another hour. We'll do some EFL in just a second. Good afternoon, the warm-up on talkSPORT. Max Barry here until 1:30. Let's go back to Dave Rowe. Another goal in the game between Leicester and Arsenal.
Two more goals, in fact. Leicester 0, Arsenal 3. The Gunners in cruise control here. The second goal, an own goal scored by Sarri Keys, the Leicester defender, after a free kick clipped forward by Hines to Russo, who got free down the right-hand side, crossed in, turned into a net by Keys. And then moments ago, just after Leipzig had saved from Mead, it was Mead this time teeing up Stina Blackstenius to power home, and the Gunners in full charge. In fact, Leicester, I can tell you, having an impromptu team meeting just outside their penalty area, because this could get embarrassing. The Gunners do quite often score many goals at this venue, and they're doing so again here. Leicester 0, Arsenal 3.
The team meeting is like one of those sit-down ones with like a PowerPoint, and they've wheeled an overhead projector onto the pitch. In the WSL, Everton 1-0 up at Villa. Brighton, Man United is goalless, and Spurs, Liverpool is 1 apiece at the moment. Let's do some EFL with former Arsenal midfielder, EFL expert Adrian Clark. Clarky, how are you?
Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm very well, thanks. Yeah, all good.
I mean, it's good. It's good that you can focus on the EFL because it must be boring as an Arsenal man just watching them just walk away with the title.
Oh, mate. Look, I've spent so many years being asked by talkSPORT to come on and explain why Arsenal have been so bad. So, fun enough that the phone has dried up a little bit of late. No one wants to hear my views on how good they are anymore. But I'm enjoying it anyway.
Clarky, yes. My main concern about Arsenal and their latest title challenge is a potential lack of mental fortitude. And that has been my concern since before the season starts. Is it a concern for you?
No, not really. I mean, there's a lot of experienced players that have been successful in their careers. They've had to be really mentally strong actually to cope with the disappointment of finishing second place in 3 consecutive years. The 2 of which they led and sort of blew it. So I think it takes mental strength to really sort of come again and stick at it. And yeah, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. I just think that this could be Arsenal's time. Everything's in place. Yeah, it's really exciting, but yeah, probably a little bit boring for everybody else.
So in the EFL yesterday, actually, the interesting stories are the teams that are not doing well: Leicester, Norwich, Southampton. A lot of pressure on all those managers.
Massive, yeah. It was an amazing day yesterday. So many stories, so many sort of interesting results. If we start at Leicester, obviously the women aren't doing too well at the moment, 3-0 down, and the men yesterday 2-0 at home to Blackburn. Desperate result. And I spoke to, because I live in the area, and I spoke to a few Leicester fans afterwards, and they said, like, the fans have turned. It was pretty toxic. Really it's not so much the manager. It's obviously they're unhappy with the ownership a little bit, but it's the players who sort of down tools a little bit last year, didn't put up enough of a fight, and too many of those look like they're coasting in the Championship. Do they really? Does losing hurt Leicester City enough? I think that's the question that a lot of the supporters are asking of the players at the moment. It's a shocking result. Praise Blackburn, who have had 2 great wins on the bounce against Southampton and Leicester. But yeah, there was Marty sort it out chance. I think the classic, you're not fit to wear the shirts at the end of the game. So yeah, miserable time for Leicester City and for Cifuentes. And then if we take it to Carrow Road,
yeah, wow.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be a Norwich fan this season. 6 home games in the Championship, 6 defeats. I mean, that is bad. And this is a new manager, remember, Liam Manning.
Who did so well at Bristol City, right? Who overperformed at Bristol City, if anything.
I like him. I think he's a really good coach. I think he's smart. I like the style of play that he brings in, but it's just not clicking. And yeah, I mean, they were all over Hull in this game. At first half, probably should have scored 3 or 4, and then they didn't. And of course, second half, little bit of tension comes in, bad piece of defending, and bang, Hull go and score, and yeah, they win 2-0. And then you go down to St Mary's. If I keep going, you go down to St Mary's, where Will Steele, another new manager, is under pressure as well. I mean, they lost 2-0 at home to Preston. They had no big chances in the game. Preston had 4, and there were boos. You always know it's bad when an opposition team scores. Instead of just hearing the fans celebrate, the away fans, the home fans just booed straight away. You know things are pretty bad when that happens.
Yeah, Clarky, Will Steele, I think everyone had quite high hopes for him when he came from France. He seems like a lovely fella. Not that counts for much, but it's something, I suppose. But it's really not happening for him. Can you put your finger on why that might be?
No, he's not settled on his team. He's changed around the formation a bit. He's chopped and changed his team a lot. He's just getting to know the players, I guess. I mean, he's never worked in English football, has he? So there is a lot of learning for him to be doing. He was successful in League One. He's clearly good. He clearly knows what he's doing. The issue for Southampton is they've got a lot of new players, and they've also been really bad for a long, long time. And I think that the standards inside the dressing room have been low. And to instantly expect it to grow and rise is probably unrealistic. To change that culture of losing. He probably does need a bit more time. And again, I think the supporters actually at Southampton aren't really taking it out on him. It's more the ownership. They're very, very frustrated with the ownership. It's been pretty miserable for a few years down at St Mary's. So yeah, I mean, Southampton, Leicester, Norwich, they would have all have expected to be in and around the playoffs, and they're not. So yeah, it was a strange weekend for them.
Which makes the top of the table much more interesting with Coventry, Middlesbrough, Stoke, Millwall, Bristol City, Preston, making up the top 6. I mentioned Coventry there. They lost, didn't they? Was that first defeat of the season at Wrexham? Kiefer Moore getting a hat-trick. And
Cracking
on
game.
Friday night. And there were 2 more hat-tricks yesterday.
Yeah, 3 hat-tricks. Absolutely superb. Kiefer Moore's was brilliant. It's a perfect hat-trick. Header, left foot, right foot. I think we all know at that level, if he's on it, he's kind of not unplayable, but he's really difficult to mark. And I think Coventry didn't play terribly, but they just dipped a bit below their standards. Wrexham are definitely better than I thought they would be this year. They've adapted outstandingly, I think, to the step up in level. The kind of shock result was at Stoke, where Divine Mbama scored a hat-trick, 5-1. Bristol City hadn't lost away from home all season, and I think they were 4-0 down in the first half. It was absolutely nuts. Some scintillating football, not always associated with Stoke, of course. And yeah, it was good fun for the fans, and they're third. And after, I think every year since they got down from the Premier League, they've done nothing basically.
They've finished in the bottom half, I think, every year.
Exactly. So they're third. So the fans are getting a little bit dizzy with excitement at the moment. And look, should we be surprised? It's Mark Robbins, isn't it, that's in charge, and we know he's got a decent track record. And the other hat trick was Carlton Morris. Never scored a hat trick in senior football before. Got 3 at Sheffield United, and of course Sheffield United had gone to a back 3 again, the sort of old familiar back 3 for Chris Wilder, but it's not really happening for them. And Derby definitely deserved to win this. There's a funny moment in this game. I mean, it's not funny if you're a Sheffield United fan. I don't know if you saw this, chaps. 46 minutes, so the start of the second half, they're playing the Greasy Chip Butty song, I think that's what it's called, that they play at Bramwell Lane. And it's blaring out while play's going on. And suddenly Sidney Peck makes a really bad back pass and Carlton Morris runs onto it, and they cut the music. and he runs through and scores. I just found it quite funny. I love going to Bramwell Lane, and I love hearing that song. It's a really quite a nice anthem. But yeah, I don't think you should play it when the game's going on.
No, it's quite sharp to press stop, isn't it?
Yeah. The DJ absolutely pressed stop when Morris went 1-on-1. so yeah, bad day for Sheffield, I'm afraid.
Clark, if I can just go back to Stoke. Right, so Vitor Pereira has just been sacked by Wolves. Yeah. The usual suspects are being named as potential successors. A fairly uninspiring bunch, I would say. Why does Mark Robbins never get mentioned when these kind of jobs come up? And he never does, and he's clearly a very good manager.
Yeah. No, I kind of agree.
I'm not saying he should be Wolves manager. He may very well be delighted with life at Stoke at the moment. Yeah. But the fact that he never, ever seems to get mentioned in conjunction with these gigs baffles me.
Pound for pound, definitely the most underrated manager across the EFL. I mean, he improved Coventry every single year until the year he got sacked. And then Lampard took over. And I think that what happened there was that the team weren't bad. And I just think things have a cycle, don't they? And players can only listen to a manager for so long. And he did lose his assistant, Adi Vivash, who went elsewhere. So that was a big change. And he had one bad kind of, 3 months? And got the bullet. Lampard's come in, same team, top of the league. So it wasn't as if Robbins had built a poor outfit. So no, I think he's not a coach. He's a manager. He manages players. He needs coaches around him. But this guy knows how to press the right buttons with players, and he knows how to recruit good players as well at championship level. So look, if I was him, wouldn't touch the Wolves job. Just enjoy Stoke and a possible promotion campaign.
Well, my whole point is he won't be offered it to
Good stuff, Clarky. Good stuff, Clarky. Thanks for coming on, pal.
Guys.
Thanks.
Adrian Clark there, former Arsenal midfielder, EFL expert. Right after the break, we'll get team news from the London Stadium and from Celtic Rangers in the League Cup semi-final, half-times in the WSL, and we'll do a bit of Bournemouth as well. Good afternoon, this is the warm-up on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. James in Doncaster says, please can I have a shout out for my son Freddie, who's just played away at Bolton Wanderers for Doncaster Rovers. They got absolutely hammered and he scored 2 own goals. You two are helping with the journey home as always. Hey, don't worry about it, Freddie. We've all, well actually I've never scored 2, but I have scored 1.
I think Jamie Carragher scored 2, hasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And he had a reasonable career.
Yeah,
he did okay.
He's doing all right.
I don't know what he's up to now, but yeah, he did quite well. Anyway, let's get team news from the London Stadium, West Ham, Newcastle. Here is Alex Crook. Hey, Crookie.
And I can tell you West Ham make 3 changes from the side beaten at Leeds. Live on talkSPORT last time out, including a first ever Premier League start for Freddie Potts in midfield. Fernandes and Callum Wilson also come in to the side, out go the injured Skulls, Souček and Irving. 2 changes for Newcastle from their last Premier League line-up. Kieran Trippier not in the squad, so Emil Kraft comes in at right back, while Tonali returns in midfield at the expense of Lewis Miley. The two teams in full. Areola is the West Ham goalkeeper. Looks like a back four this afternoon of Wan-Bissaka, Todibo, Kilman and Diouf. Fernandes and Potts in midfield. Somerville, Paquetá and Bowen in behind Callum Wilson in a very attacking line-up. For Newcastle, Pope in goal, Kraft, Chow, Botman and Byrne in front of him. Guimaraes, Tonali and Joe Linton reunited in midfield, with Jacob Murphy and Anthony Gordon either side of Nick Voltemade up front.
How's the warm-up looking for West Ham, Crookie?
They're not out there yet. There's just a lot of cones and a lot of balls on one half of the pitch.
Hopefully the cones are inspirational ones to get the fans going. Crookie will be, Perry Groves alongside him as well for part of Game Day Live on Sunday with Hugh Woozencroft. Let's get half-times in the WSL. Let's go to Leicester Arsenal. Dave Rowe.
Leicester 0, Arsenal 3, and the reality is it could have been more. A huge goal between these sides. Arsenal have played some great stuff and maybe been offered a bit too much respect by the home side. The opener on 6 minutes created by Beth Mead, whose cross was touched back by Stina Blackstenius for Alessia Russo to hammer home. The Foxes did keep the deficit at 1 until just after the half hour, but then Sari Keys turned the Russo cross into her own net, and shortly after Blackstenius got the third, set up by Mead's cross once again, and then Leipzig made a couple of good saves also to keep it down to 3. The only scare for the Gunners came when keeper Van Domslaar cleared straight at Shannon O'Brien, but the ball bounced straight back to the keeper. It could have gone anywhere. Arsenal, great value here. Leicester 0, Arsenal 3.
Jake Robson watching Brighton, Manchester United.
Brighton 0, Manchester United 1. The visitors eventually capitalising on a sustained spell of pressure that saw multiple efforts squandered. Park, Ziggy Otti twice and Toon all with efforts, but right on the stroke of half-time, Elizabeth Turlin was on hand to tuck away Toon's through ball to give the visitors a deserved lead on the balance of play, although Brighton did want offside. No VAR here, of course. United, though, they're on track to make it 4 away wins out of 4 this season. Half-time at Broadfield, Brighton 0, Manchester United 1.
Celtic Rangers is always a big game, of course, isn't it? But Paul Mitchell, so much happening at both clubs. This will be fascinating this afternoon.
It's been absolutely incredible. This is the third straight Old Firm game with a new managerial partnership. So Martin O'Neill and Danny Rowe are now head-to-head. We've had Barry Ferguson, we've had Brendan Rodgers, we've had Russell Martin, but now it's these two. Martin O'Neill has decided to make one change from his first match in charge, the 4-0 win against Falkirk. Dazan Mairi, who's got 5 Old Firm goals, comes in for James Forrest, who drops onto the bench. So it's Schmeichel in goal, back four of Ralston, Trusty, Scales, Sarachi, Engels, McGregor, the 2, with Maida, Nygren and Tunekti behind Johnny Kinney, who got 2 goals against Falkirk. For Rangers, good away win at Easter Road by 1-0, and they make 3 changes. The skipper James Tavernier comes back, Mo Diamondi into the midfield, and Talo Asgard comes in. Barron suspended, Mikey Moore, Max Aarons drop onto the bench. So Rangers will have Butland in goal. They've now gone to back 3 system under their new boss Danny Roll. It's De Giga, Suter, Cornelius, Tavernier, Diamondi, Raskin, McHoma, Asgard, Danilo either side of Chermetti. Celtic have won the last 5 League Cup meetings between these two sides. They'll be looking to make it 6 today, but honestly this one could go anyway, and it's likely to go all the way to extra time.
Good stuff, Paul. Man City play Bournemouth later. We don't often do a lot of Bournemouth, so let's do some. Craig Beasley is part of the talkSPORT Fan Network, also from Up the Cherries in All Departments podcast. Hey, Craig.
Hello there, Max. Hello, Barry. Hope you're doing well.
Great, thanks, Craig.
Yeah,
thanks for
nice to
joining
chat.
us.
Could you just explain the title? I'm a big fan of In All Departments as part of your title.
Yeah, no problem. So it used to be an old song that Bournemouth fans used to sing. So they used to go up the cherries and then they used to reply in all departments. So yeah, it's a bit of a unique one. We've shortened it on the YouTube channel to Up the Cherries because UTCIAD was always quite difficult for people to find, but unsurprisingly, but yeah, still we still go with that moniker. It's unique, isn't it?
I mean, what a season you're having.
Honestly, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And we are the longest unbeaten in the Premier League. Who would have thought that when we was on minus 17 all those years ago? You look at the squad that we have got, and there's players that have been playing season on season for this football club, like Ryan Christie and Lewis Cook, and they're being kept out of the side. Andoni Iraola has got lots and lots of decisions to make. but they're welcome decisions to make because we are playing so well. I think we have, and do give me an alternative opinion. I think we've got the Premier League's most informed player at the moment in Antoine Semenyo. It's unbelievable. It really is.
Oh, I can't give you an alternative opinion to that. He's been brilliant. I love the video of him and Mrs. Semenyo going shopping in Aldi. Yes. And was it Aldi? What's the other German one? Lidl. And
Lidl, yes.
Then cooking their jerk salmon fillets, a recipe I was keeping an eye on and making little notes. So I'm going to try it myself. But he just seems, he's having the season of his life, seems a really down-to-earth guy. And I only found out this recently. He was rejected by pretty much every club in London when he was a kid and basically got so disillusioned he gave up football for a year or two. And I think his brother talked him back into taking it up again. But he's been superb. And I think if he beats City today, and I think he might, it won't be a surprise, will it?
No, to be honest, we are in the form of our lives. It doesn't seem like this is ever going to end, and I hope it's not ever going to end. A lot of fans, and me included, everybody's dreaming, can we do another Leicester? It's 10 years since that. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a long shot, to be perfectly honest. But if we can keep the momentum going, we should get a European place this season. Semenyo has been absolutely brilliant. He can play on both wings. He's strong. He cuts in the inside. He's a hassle. To be honest, Nottingham Forest managed to cancel him out the game quite well in our most recent match against them. To be honest, they didn't do much else right, but they did manage to keep Semenyo quiet. But whenever Nilsson got injured, just to give you a bit of an idea of the strength in depth that we've got, Evan Nilsson gets injured and Elie Junior Krupi comes in, a player that we signed from Lorient, who did well in the French league last season. He scored a brace against Crystal Palace and then he scored an absolute thunderbolt against Forest. And you now have to ask the question, he's been linked and he's been compared to the likes of Mbappe and Thierry Henry. Now, let's be honest, those two players are geniuses. Don't think he's on that stage at this moment in time. But to just even be compared...
Give him another couple of weeks.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he keeps doing what he's doing, give him another couple of weeks. Hey, there is always the concern that, okay, we might end up losing players, but all these players seem invested in Andoni Iraola's plan. Iraola hasn't got the pressure of the likes of Manchester United or Chelsea or Arsenal or any of those clubs. He wouldn't want to go anywhere else. What he's building here is he's building and creating something that's never been done before.
Sure, but even if they do leave, as your whole defence and keeper did, it doesn't matter. You get new ones. Hey, Craig, we've got to leave it there, but lovely to have you on. We'll get you on another time and speak to you in more detail. Craig Beasley there from Up the Cherries in all departments. It's Max Rushden and Barry Glendenning here till 1:30. Sam Delaney will give a different fan's perspective on their club as he is a West Ham fan in just a second.
After football, for a lot of players, it means going into punditry. Some turn to coaching or working in the game in other ways. But what about the rest? Some former footballers turn their sights away from the game, and there are a few big surprises. First up, from rainbow flicks to pancake flips. Ex-Chelsea and Southampton defender Ken Monku switched up his footballing career to buy a Dutch pancake house. He bought out the shop, which had been his favourite pancake spot as a child, and before long he was mixing the batter and getting behind the stove. Next, Everton legend Thomas Gravesen swapped out the high stakes of the Premier League for those of the poker room. He made over 150 appearances for the Toffees and won the Scottish Premier League with Celtic. Turned out the Danish international was pretty darn good at poker. He racked up a reported £100 million from his Las Vegas adventures. Remember former Chelsea goalkeeper Petr Cech? Turns out football nets weren't the only goals he was pretty handy in front of. After retirement, he became a goaltender in ice hockey. Same skills, very different surface. And he even won a Division 2 title with Guildford Phoenix. For ex-Liverpool centre-back Daniel Agger, it wasn't just fancy footwork that was in his blood. He was also pretty good with his hands. The Denmark international turned to tattoo artistry after he hung up his boots. He'd qualified as a skin artist while at Anfield, and he then became the co-owner of his own tattoo company as well. It's not all glamour for ex-pros, though. 1966 World Cup winner Ray Wilson set up a very different kind of business. He became an undertaker after he retired. Finally, not many people can say they've won both a World Cup and starred in an Oscar-winning film. In fact, there's only one person in the entire world who can say that. Frank Leboeuf, the former Chelsea defender, was part of the 1998 France squad who won the World Cup. He ended up marking Brazil's Ronaldo in the final and helped his side to a 3-0 win. But Leboeuf had already begun acting on the side while he was playing football, and his biggest role came some years after his retirement when he landed the part of a doctor in the Stephen Hawking biopic The Theory of Everything.
I embrace the career of acting, so I want to learn more. So seeing lots of movies is a part of my job.
To be honest, with all the dramatic diving in the game these days, there's probably tons of ex-pros who've got the acting skills to make it in Hollywood.
Good afternoon, you're listening to the warm-up on talkSPORT. Max Rushden and Barry Glendenning with you till 1:30 in association with Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. We'll chat to Sam Delaney, author, broadcaster, West Ham fan, in just a second. Before that, Nick Ellaby is watching India's women pile on the runs against South Africa in the one-day World Cup final.
Yeah, great start for India in their home World Cup final here. They're 152 for 1 off 25.3 overs. Smriti Mandana the only wicket to go, caught behind 45 off 58 balls. That was off the off-spin bowling of Chloe Tron. Shafali Verma just threatening to take the game away from South Africa. She was dropped on 56 by Annika Bosch at deep square leg. That could be crucial. Jemima Rodriguez, hero of the semi-final, is on 19 off 26 at the other end. Shafali Verma 79 off 70 balls. South Africa put India in, probably hoping for a bit more help from the pitch. Their opening bowlers were either too full or too short. Despite a 2-hour rain delay in Mumbai, we haven't lost any overs yet. There's not many South Africa fans in the DY Patil Stadium. Most of the 40,000 fully behind the home side. An India win would have huge consequences for women's sport in the country. 153 for 1 India off 25.5 overs.
2 o'clock kickoff for West Ham, Newcastle. Let's talk to the broadcaster, author, presenter of the U Irons podcast as well, Sam Delaney. Are you looking forward to the game, Sam?
No, I think that would be a little bit overblown to use the phrase like looking forward to the game. I don't think I felt like that about any West Ham game in well over a year, to be honest. However, there is some tiny glimmer of optimism in as much as Nuno has abandoned his jazz-style team selection, which is what he's been pursuing since he arrived at the club. We thought we were getting a safe pair of hands with a huge amount of Premier League experience. And his team selections have been very modern jazz, where every single player is played out of position on the wrong side of the pitch. I wouldn't have been surprised to see a goalkeeper playing on the wing today. I don't know what's going on, but it's gone slightly psychedelic. He has finally, after 2 undignified defeats, and that's the only word for them, against Brentford and Leeds, he has at least picked an 11 today that I think most West Ham fans will approve of, in as much as he's picked the players in their right positions. I mean, obviously, a lot of the players are not very good at football, which is going to be a hindrance to us. But there is some glimmer of hope. I think maybe we won't be thrashed too badly. I think that's probably the best I can hope for.
I mean, lots of people have noticed that not any of your, apart from Jared Bowen, no one can run. So, has he picked an 11 of, this sort of phrase, they've got no legs, which seems ridiculous because they train all the time. These are supremely fit athletes. And I guess there has to be one team that's the least fit out of all the teams. Like, by definition, that has to happen. But it does appear to be West Ham by some distance.
Well, I think in midfield we were playing older players who were not really, known for, getting around and covering a lot of ground. So we had Souček, who's never been the quickest, but who is a talented player, and Irvin, who is not really up to. I mean, under previous managers, he was barely on the bench. So it seems strange, and I think that what Nuno did when he arrived at the club was look around and realise that there was an attitude problem with a lot of the players. There were not many players who were fighting sufficiently or had what you might call the right personalities. And I think Nuno identified the players who he thought did have the right attitude and picked them. But unfortunately, attitude only goes so far. And we lost both games because you had players in the team who were... they were willing to fight. They weren't quite able to keep up with the much fitter and quicker players that the opposition were fielding. So now he's gone back to picking players who we do have a midfield today, and probably the thing with younger, quicker players in there. And I think all West Ham fans will be really happy to see Freddie Potts starting his first Premier League game in midfield. He's the son of Steve Potts, who's something of a West Ham legend, former captain, now one of our first team coaches. And he's been fantastic in pre-season every time we've seen him as a substitute. And it's been baffling that he hasn't got a start, considering the problems we've had in midfield. So he starts his first game today. And, you have to cling hold of something when you're watching a team that's this bad. You have to cling hold of something to sort of give you a glimmer of joy. And I think most West Ham fans will be looking at his first team debut today as something to be happy about.
Sam, are you saying his inclusion is not down to nepotism?
No, it's not. It's not net. But I think what's interesting is, funny enough, is that Steve Potts was one of the academy coaches, and he's been promoted to first team coach under Nuno. And yet, since then, his son hasn't had a look in at all. I think at West Ham there's a history of this sort of thing because, of course, Frank Lampard Jr. Had a really tough start to his career at West Ham because every time he had, a below average performance, which is natural for a young player, there was a section of the support who would say, well, you're only in the team because of your dad, because Frank Lampard Sr. was the assistant at the time. So maybe they're mindful of that. They want to ease this guy in. He's a very talented player. He had a fantastic season in the Championship last season with Portsmouth on loan. And I think there probably is, a little bit of mindfulness after what happened with Frank Lampard in his earlier years, that we don't want those accusations to fly at Freddie Potts. He hasn't had a bad game yet, but of course he will do at some point. It may well be today because he's a young player playing in a struggling team. And perhaps we don't want people to turn on him because that can happen with young players.
Sam, you mentioned the questionable attitude of some players. Would you include Lucas Paqueta among them? Because I was expecting great things of him this season now that the burden of those betting charges, potentially career-ending betting charges, were lifted from his shoulders. But he's been pretty bang average at best, I would say, and poor generally. I thought he'd be good.
Yeah, it's a fair assessment. I think bang average to poor is a fair description of how he's played for a couple of years now, and we gave him the benefit of the doubt because of the fact that he was under this investigation. But nothing's really changed. He's a frustrating player to watch because he's throwing himself on the floor a huge amount. Now, I like to see my players wind up the opposition and cheat a little bit as much as anyone does. It's fun. And when Paqueta used to do it, but also get a lot of assists and goals, I thought it was fantastic. Now it's kind of all he does. He hasn't got, I'm not sure if he's got an assist this season. He's got a couple of goals, but he's poor. I would say a lot of West Ham fans, including myself, think he shouldn't actually be starting today. He needs a spell on the bench, perhaps as a kick up the backside. And there's strong rumours that he's looking to leave the club in January anyway. And that just reflects a situation we've got with a lot of players. I mean, he's one of the stars that we would be looking to save us in a situation like this. He shows no sign of doing so. There's a lack of leadership. We've got one very good player in Jarrod Bowen, who, to be honest, I just feel sorry for at this point. He's not really a natural leader. His personality is not really that of a captain. He's our captain because he's our best player, possibly our only decent player. And he's stuck in a really bad situation. I saw someone tweet the other day. I can't credit them because I can't remember who did it.
So good. It's what I... Yeah,
Jarrod Bowen is like the only human actor in a Muppets film.
It's so good, isn't it?
It's brilliant. And I thought, yes, that sums up what I've been watching for a year. The poor bloke. I mean, every West Ham fan genuinely feels sympathy for him. And, and then you look at the other senior players like Paqueta and you think, well, maybe he should be helping out and leading a bit, but he just likes to throw himself around on the pitch,
Finally, if the bad run continues, what do you think the pressure? Because there's so much. We've spoken before about the frustration with the ownership, but do you think they'll take that out on Nuno? Because I'm with you. I thought this was like a really sensible appointment.
Well, Nuno didn't do himself many favours in his team selections. It was genuinely really bad. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen team selections of any team so strange than his first few games in charge. And so I thought, wow, maybe he's arrived at this toxic club and within a week thought, I need to get myself the sack. Right. But he's changed his tune today. So maybe he'll work it out. I think, if anyone's got a chance of doing so, it's him because of his experience. But he is in a club that is very, very difficult. We've seen successive managers who've had previous examples of success at other clubs really struggle because there is an interfering chairman, there is a baffling transfer policy, there is an awful stadium, and as a result of all those factors, there's a disgruntled fan base. And of course, I think it's perfectly understandable why we're disgruntled and have been for a long time. And under those circumstances, I think whoever you are, whether you're Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp or anyone, you're going to really struggle to, get any sort of performance consistently out of this team. But I like Nuno. I think thank God he's changed his selection choices today. And who knows, if we manage to stumble into January still with half a chance to make some signs, he might just pull something off.
Good stuff, Sam. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Sam.
Cheers, lads. Bye.
Enjoy the game. Sam Delaney there, author, broadcaster, presenter of the U Irons podcast. It's Max and Barry with you on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. We'll play Guess the Attendance in a second. Afternoon. Guess the attendance in just a second. Max Rushden and Barry Glendenning on the warm-up till 1:30. In the WSL, it's Villa 1, Everton 1, Arsenal 3-0 up at Leicester, Spurs and Liverpool is 1-1. And there's been another goal in the game between Brighton and Manchester United. Jake Robson.
61 minutes played. It's Brighton 0, Manchester United 2. A brilliant finish by Jessica Park, laid off nicely by Ella Toone, and she finished brilliantly in the far corner for a fourth goal of the WSL season. Toone has now been withdrawn, as has Mallard. Rolfo going off as well, and Awujo coming on. It's Brighton 0, Manchester United 2.
Thanks, Jake. If you want the chance to win £100,000, then listen to this next bit. Tax-free, £100,000. If you get the call this Thursday, you'll be heading to talkSPORT Towers to come and play for that life-changing cash prize. And here is how to enter.
18 plus UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by the 6th of November at 4 p.m. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
There's some good wins in the FA Cup, some good giant killing yesterday. There are 4 games today. Shrewsbury are 3-0 up on South Shields already, about half an hour to go in that one. And Ian Abrahams is at Eastleigh to watch Eastleigh Walsall. Has the team news. Hey, Moose.
Hey, yes, 11 non-league sides already through to the second round of the FA Cup. Can Eastleigh get through as well? Well, they'll have to overturn Walsall, who are currently top of League 2. Eastleigh sit bang in the middle of the National League. Team news shows 2 changes for Eastleigh from last weekend. Jake Vokins and Aaron Pierre in for Skinner and the veteran Jake Taylor. As for Walsall, 3 changes from their defeat at Cheltenham last week. Brandon Comley comes in for Warrington, Charlie Larkin for Yellis, and the former Eastleigh player Vincent Harper replaces Okeki in the side as well. Amongst those on the bench, Albert Adoma, who's a veteran, very much so, of Walsall and many other clubs as well. We kick off here at Eastleigh at 2:15.
Cheers, Moose. Let's play Guess the Attendant today. Top comedian Justin Morehouse takes on top journalist Barry Glendenning. Welcome to the programme, Justin.
Hi, thanks very much for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks.
Great. Should we play?
Yeah, let's just get right into it.
Let's get into it.
I feel we should have more small talk.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, fine. How's life?
By the way, just if I can go back to another, I've been doing some research. Freddie, who's on his way home from scoring 2 own goals against Bolton for his Doncaster team. Freddie, Maximus Stave, Jamie Carragher, Michael Proctor, Jonathan Walters, Wout Faes, of course, and Craig Dawson, of course, have all scored 2 own goals in a match. So don't
you will
worry
have
about
a
it.
reasonable Premier League / Championship career. And good luck to you. And
or you'll
prosper.
be Wout Faes.
Yeah. How are you, Justin? How's life? Good? And all those things?
Life is a pigsty, as Morrissey once said.
All right. Okay.
Just reminded me of that
Do we
lyric.
still quote Morrissey? He's gone a bit
well,
on
we
this
still quote.
radio station. I can think of another radio station where they might quote him at
Probably
great
doing
length.
breakfast.
They still quote Wagner, don't they? You know, it's like separate the man from the art and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Did not think that was coming on here to give a kind of a philosophical, existential kind of take on whether we quote.
Let's all swill in mud together in the pigsty that is Guess the Attendance.
You know
and
what?
We begin.
Life will be better this time next week, because this time next week I'll be poised to walk on stage at the Opera House in Manchester for my homecoming show of the current tour that I'm on, the greatest performance of my life. I will make the bold assertion that tickets are very much available.
Right. I see
Go and
you've
watch Justin.
recruited Little Miss Morehouse, who is now an adult, I believe. But she's
got a real
basically
name.
trying to nudge you in the direction of doing more PR.
Yeah. Well, no, better PR, because I'm all for it, and I do that. Well, if not that, what is this? This thing I do every week.
So
to
if you're
raise
in
my
the
level.
area, go to see Justin at the.
I think even if you're not in the area, travel.
Yeah,
That's the message I'm coming across.
But you've done it again, haven't you, Justin? You're doing it on a Sunday night. No one wants to go out on a Sunday night.
Barry, we've got 2.5 minutes to play this game, so can we just play it? Crystal Palace 2, Brentford 0. Peter Banks of Lancashire, everyone going to see Justin's show, of course. Peter Banks of Lancashire refereed the game, but how many were at Palace 2, Brentford 0? Justin?
25,000.
25,001.
25,083, 1-0 to Barry. We go to the Kassam Stadium, Oxford 2, Millwall 2. A last-minute equaliser by P. Plachetta for Oxford meant that Millwall's running streak came to an end, but they're still doing very well in the Championship. Farai Halam of Surrey refereed this game, but how many were at the Kassam, Barry?
15,200.
15,199.
11,023. One apiece. To the Brick Community Stadium we go. Wigan 1, Hemel Hempstead 1. Wigan win 5-3 on penalties. Aaron Bannister, son of Jack, the cricket commentator, and Gary, son of Gary, as brother of Gary, and
grandnephew of Roger.
Yes, grandnephew of Roger, of course, refereed the game. But how many were there at Wigan 1, Hemel Hempstead 1? Justin?
Oh, I'd like to get a hand on this one. Bannister.
Good.
I think it was probably very poor. 5,000.
5,000, Barry.
I'll say it was poor, but not that poor. 5,001.
4,020. 2-1 to Justin Morehouse. We stay in the FA Cup. Bromley 1, Bristol Rovers 2 at the Copperjacks Community Stadium. Isaac Searle, son of the Searle brothers who won that gold medal for rowing. The Abanyalis are tiring. But how many were there to watch Bromley 1, Bristol Rovers 2? You need this, Barry.
God, I'm going to say it was a capacity crowd. I have no idea how many people that stadium holds. 4,900.
Did you say it's the Copy Deck Stadium, like the craft glue you use at
Copper
school?
box.
Copperjacks. I said Copperjacks.
Copper box.
Oh, Copperjack.
Yeah.
I say Copy Deck. That's a bit of niche bit of branding, that isn't it? For all your non-toxic sticking requirements. What did you say, Bazza?
I said
4,900.
Oh gosh, you're way out. 4,899.
2,500. It's a win for Justin.
Small.
Finally, Hearts for Dundee 0. They're going to win the Scottish Premiership. Well, they might. Kevin Clancy refereed it. He's from Scotland. How many were there at Tynecastle? Justin?
Glory Hunters, as Hearts go inevitably to their 1986 kind of limits. I don't know. 19,400.
Barry?
19,399.
18,767. Justin 3, Barry 2. Hugh Woozencroft is next with Perry Groves and Alex Crook and all the team.